It always gets me revved up. Turn the volume up, Bryce. Forget about talking. I want to keep listening to that stuff. That's Greg Billings and the Stranger Band. Man, been going on for 40 years over there in the Pinellas County area. I'm Kenny Schofield. With me today is Rhett Riddle. This is the American Car Classics radio show and podcast. Behind the other microphone is Bryce B. Rice, the producer of this show, who does so much putting up with me. I can't even say thank you enough.
That's right. That's true.
It is true. No, I pay you. I pay you to be here.
And you pay me to put up with you.
I did. Is there a percentage of that goes? Listen, so that's a whole other. He made me almost start to sweat. Where's my money go? How do I tell a CPA that I'm paying for stress? On the phone today, I want to start the show out with a good friend, Brian Glaze, and he lives in Daytona. Brian has probably one of the coolest jobs that you could ever think of having. Brian, what is your job title?
Corner marshal
at.
Well, with SCCA, it's a volunteer position.
So you are with the SCCA.
It's a paid volunteer position.
Yeah, right. So this is
right.
You get to go down on the innards of Daytona International Speedway, hallowed grounds, and you get to hang out, right?
There just about every month.
You see
or more.
You see stuff that I'm lucky enough to see you post on Facebook, but stuff you don't get to pull the phone out for. Sometimes happens. But I mean, every month there's cool photos coming out of your Facebook account, and
right.
it is just a lot of fun. One of the things I remember seeing a few months back, well, probably even 2 months ago, you'd posted that this rare car caught fire. I don't know that you caught a photo of that one happening, but you heard about it over the radio. Is that how you heard about it?
Well, yeah, it was at the historic sports car racing just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
they have a classic 24 hours event.
Yeah, I went
4 days.
I went and worked that 4 years ago for Brian DeFore.
Yeah,
and Jim Pace. Yeah,
and I think it was Thursday or Friday. Pretty sure it was Friday during the races, the sprint races. I was actually on break and just sat down at the turn one flag station where the cars come on the tri-oval and into the infield off the oval at the end of pit lane for NASCAR guys. So I heard on the radio, I still had my headset on, I heard the flag stand say car on fire front stretch. And 2 seconds later or less, there's a Porsche just pulling off the track and across pit lane into the grass right up against the guardrail. And it was on fire. So I jumped up, grabbed the fire bottle, and ran maybe 10 yards to get to it. And the driver jumps out just as I'm getting there and pulling the pin. And
pulling the pin. You pulled the pin.
Right.
Did he have an air suppression system on his?
You know, I don't know if he had much because that thing just kept burning. We had to get the whole cavalry there to put it out.
So your can didn't put it out either.
No, I started with the bottle. He wanted it, so I handed it to him. He was over the guardrail, and the passenger side was a little more hot, it looked like. So he used up that bottle, and the guy from, another guy came running, and then the track rescue trucks came pulling up from all directions.
Yeah. And once they're there, it's out. But this Porsche, it was toasted. I mean, it was.
Yeah, the back end was really bad. It burned. It burned long enough to pop the right rear tire, and it was a loud boom.
Wow. So started with the engine or transaxles.
Yeah. He had some oil line let go or something. I never did hear what it was, but I looked it up later when I got home that night just to see which car the driver was, who he was, where he was from, or whatever. And found out it was like a $1 million car.
What was it? A Porsche? What?
It was a 1996 Porsche 993 GT2 Evo.
Oof.
And the research I found said it was one of 11 made. It was basically a street legal race car made by Porsche back then.
To think about taking that car out and racing, knowing that something could happen.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably doing 170.
Yeah.
Did he lose the rear end?
It was
the classic Porsche wrecked where you lose the rear end because it's the rear end?
He didn't wreck. He just caught fire. I don't know what came loose. Something came loose, a mechanical issue on the car on the high-speed oval section, and it burst into flames. The flagger and the flag stand start-finish line later on told me, he saw flames shooting like 10 feet out the back of the car because of how fast he was going.
You got to hate that.
But he stopped almost at our feet. So, I was the first one to him, and, glad to see the driver get out. And
well, they would restore that car. They'd rebuild it. I mean, if it's one of 11 documented, you've got to say that's going to go in for extensive repairs, and they're going to try and rebuild that. And I guess take it back out to a racetrack. I think you'd learn your lesson at that time and say, hey, let's keep this as a collector's, because now it's probably only one of 6 or 7 maybe. And I don't know. That's kind of sketchy. So I know that Bryce is really big into a lot of the IMSA stuff. I know you post a lot of stuff with IMSA. They are out at Daytona a lot, right? They do something several months out of the year, different seasons, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We had about 130 cars here for the HSR event, the historics, and that's IMSA cars from 2 years ago to 50 years ago. And then other cars, historic cars. We had a 1950 Cadillac Series 61, it was called, that ran at Le Mans. And it was built by a famous car builder named Briggs Cunningham.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that photo that was white.
And that thing was weird looking, like a big boat.
Yeah, we're going to have a photo of that.
He used the rule book. He had 2 cars. He had 2 of the same cars. One had the stock Cadillac body. The other one had this body. Totally different looking.
Brian, was that the same one that was that the same one that was on display for this year's Rolex 24? I saw something that looked similar to that.
No, this one was just here for the historics. It's never been here before. It came over from England.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They had a lot of cars. They had a 1948 Morgan, came over from England. A couple of dozen cars usually come over from overseas. They bring them into the Port of Savannah and then bring them down to the track, and then the drivers fly in and drive them. And it's great. I mean, we had a 1996 Pontiac Trans Am IROC car that was Mark Martin's.
Okay.
That he drove. Ray Evernham was here driving an Audi R8.
Yeah, I saw the photo.
Nemechek was here. Nemechek had a handful of cars, a stock car, NASCAR, and trucks.
Yeah.
And Brian,
more than we've ever had for HSR.
You're involved in the current IMSA series as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I flagged the 12 hours of Sebring, the 24 hours of Daytona, and usually try to make it to one other race or 2 during the year.
Yeah, it's great. We talk a lot about.
We have the test sessions, and
we talk a lot about NASCAR on the show, but I'm a huge IMSA fan, and I'm always surprised at how few people, especially in the car world, are familiar with IMSA. Can you just give us your take on how you describe IMSA and what are the trends? Because it seems to me like it's growing like crazy.
Oh yeah, well, I was born and raised on NASCAR, and for the last 20 years or so, I'm more of an IMSA fan than I am NASCAR.
Amen.
So,
Brian, we loved Dale and everything else, but certain things have changed and stuff. And to bring up a name like even Mark Martin or something, a lot of people don't know IROC was the International Race Champions, a select group of drivers, mostly all from NASCAR. But after 1 or 2 seasons of it, Scott Pruitt came over, other people came over from IndyCar and stuff. They wanted to run it too, and it widened, and it was a great, phenomenal little series. I think it was like 6 races long or something they had during the year, and they crowned a champion at the end. It was always fun to watch.
Yep. Yeah, they have drivers from all different series. I mean, just like IMSA does with the Rolex 24 and the Sebring 12 hours, we have drivers from IndyCar, NASCAR, former Formula One car drivers, any kind of series you can think of. We have the best drivers from all around the world.
Well, tell me what IMSA stands for. Is that International Motorsports
Association?
Right, yeah, International Motorsports Association.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So they have so many different classes. I think about James Redmond's group, Brian Redmond's group, Targa 66 is where there's 3 different classes: slow, moderate, street, and then fast. The GT40s and stuff. IMSA, they have what selection? I mean, you're talking Firebirds, so you're talking Cadillacs, and you're talking 1996 Porsches. It's it's how big is the selection of cars?
Well,
huge.
And that's in the HSR was an enormous selection. And then that's not just IMSA, though. They have, like I said, stock car, NASCAR, trucks, everything. IMSA modern races, like the official series, has 5 classes. I think there's the GTPs, which are the biggest, baddest prototypes. There's 10 of those entered for this year.
Wow.
They have the LMP2, which is like a Le Mans prototype, class 2. The GTD Pro and GTD Amateur. I guess maybe there's just 4 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
there was an LMP3, but that's moved. That's been declassified, and actually they're going to be part of the HSR series next year.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The LMP3 cars are.
Yeah, well, we are going to try. Rhett now owns the Mopar 10, the 2010 Mopar Challenger, and we're going to talk about taking him and his car and me with Lucy, if I can get her a little tighter with a couple of bigger sway bars, and Bryce, and we're going to head down to the Target 66 program in February down at Homestead Raceway and see pay the fee, but go in as spectators and just have fun on the track as well. It seems so cool that we can bring out a car that is a street car, but go and have fun without doing damage on the streets or anything else. He's got a good program going on down there. That's at Homestead Raceway. You said you have been down there and raced on it. You've run on the track.
I've been a quarter marshal there. I haven't actually raced. I did get to test drive in Mustang there.
Okay.
So I did a couple of hot laps.
Okay.
With Ford.
Yeah.
One time. Gosh, that was a while ago.
James said that there's a couple of turns that drops. Well, now I don't know. They've changed it. Have they, Bryce? You do it on a simulator. I don't know how modern that simulator is, but James talked about how you come over this mild hill, an upgrade, and then you take a left, and when you go take that right, it drops down, and you turn right pretty good. And he said it's a lot of fun. The little level change out there because Miami is pretty flat. So. Yeah,
that's turn 2, 3, and 4 in the infield.
Okay.
The left, right drop. Absolutely. Okay. I was at turn 1 last time I went, which was crazy because I was like on a 3-foot wide sidewalk, and I had a wall on one side and a wall on the other side, and the track was on one side and pit lane was on my other side. The wall was
to protect you in case something came your way.
Well, yeah. It was like the wall that separates the track from pit lane.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like right in the middle of it, like they do at Indianapolis. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was quite the spot.
That's awesome.
I mean, I could almost reach out and touch the cars coming off the front stretch into the infield section.
Where are you going to be in February? What job assignment do you have in February? Do you know?
No, I don't know yet. That's January. The end of January, they have the Rolex 24.
Okay. So James Redmond's, Brian Redmond's Target 66 is going to be the 16th, 17th, and 18th down in Homestead, which is the same weekend as the Daytona 500 and Speed Weeks is happening. Right. But if you're free, man, maybe you'll work your way down there too. That'd be great too to see you. So.
Well, I usually hit the 500, but we've got the Daytona Turkey Run coming right up. Thanksgiving weekend is big here in Daytona with that.
What is that?
The Turkey Run, the big car show at the
Turkey Rod Run, right? The Turkey Rod Run. I've never heard it called the Turkey Run. So we're coming up. Scuba Steve, one of my employees, he's going to be coming up with me on Saturday. I think we're going to go. So I'll find you, and we'll hook up.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I'm staying for that. Or there's an SCCA race at Sebring the 2 days after Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure they want me to go down there.
Okay,
but I was like, it's fun here for the Turkey Rod Run.
It sure is. That's the world's largest swap meet.
They've got a lot going on at the track. They've got the Turkey Run Nights out on the front parking lot now,
which is beautiful.
And there's also a car show at One Daytona on December 2nd. I don't know if you knew about that.
No, I didn't.
That's One Daytona crossing the Speedway, a cruising car show.
Yeah.
There's a club called East Coast Cruisers.
East Coast Cruisers. Okay.
And it's the first Saturday of each month there.
Okay, but on the second, it's going to be big because, of course, you're starting. People.
Well, it's the week after Turkey Run. So
people are there.
Sure. That's an afternoon show, 3 to 6 p.m.
Is it? Okay, well, that's a, for us car show guys. I mean, we're you tell them 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they're going to be there at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It doesn't matter. And Rhett's one of those guys.
I was surprised at the hours on this one, but
3 to 6.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, it's annual, so you just keep doing what you do. If enough people liked it and followed it, they're going to come back for it. So, all right, well, we're going to get ready to take a little break. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. It's kind of short notice, almost like I always do. So I love it, appreciate it for you. You've got a meeting to get into. Everybody, that's Brian Glaze. He's our trackside insider at Daytona, and I appreciate you very much. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Take care, Brian.
All right, good talking to you.
You too. All right, bye-bye. Everybody, we'll be right back. This is Rhett. That's Bryce. This is the American Car Classics radio program. Bryce is going to turn that down just a skosh, and then we're going to start talking a little bit more about today. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I appreciate you tuning in. Whether it's your first time seeing us or whether you've come back for more torture, I appreciate it equally. I am not biased in any way. Rhett Riddle, to my left, your stage.
Right?
Is that
right?
Thespian? Looking at the stage, it'd be
theater.
Okay, I'd have to ask my sister,
skip
my
all
mom.
the theater chat.
Okay, I come from a long line of drama. So Rhett is a friend of mine that I asked to come in because he's been pulling into Dolphin Auto a lot lately, and he pulled in last week in a new car, and it freaked me the hell out. So I'm going to go back a little bit and talk about Rhett. I met Rhett 8 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
At Rib City when you pulled up to my first ever car show, represented by Dolphin Auto. Mm-hmm. We had room for 80 cars. 83 showed up pretty promptly, and we had a couple people leave with some burnouts and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was it's just 1 mile north of my shop here in Grant, Florida. And you drove from Vero? Sebastian. And came up, and you were driving what then? You had a Mustang?
It was the red, it was the 70 Mustang, red 70.
Yes, that's right. Fastback?
That's right. No notchback.
A notch, okay, yeah, but it was a good car.
Yeah, it was.
You don't bleed orange, you don't bleed blue,
I'm not a Chevy, Ford, Mopar guy. My thing is, every manufacturer's always made a hell of a car.
Okay.
They have.
Let's talk about your wife, Lee, just for a second. Back in her day, in her life, there was something about a 70 Monte Carlo that really just made her always remember that car.
I met her. When I met her, I had the 70 Monte Carlo, and it was done up. Even the hose clamps were the original factory style hose clamps. All the hoses I had on there were date coded.
What color?
White with a blue interior.
Wow, I had a white with my blue interior was bench.
Yeah, mine was bench.
Well, then I'm going to show you pictures of my car.
Nice.
Later on.
I'm going to make me cry here.
Carlos. Okay, so you got rid of that car?
I got rid of that car. We started dating, and I was 21. All right, I was 21, young, dumb, and you know the rest.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to spend my life with this girl, which I am. Yep. But at that time, I'm going to spend my life with this girl. I want to do the right thing. We're probably going to start a family, so I'm going to prepare for it. So I got rid of it and got a Ford Taurus.
Oh my God.
And he's probably not talking about a show where you can actually still do burnouts. But yeah. So,
and it probably wasn't the SHO.
Oh, heck no. It was a Ford Taurus.
Yeah. So,
Ford Taurus.
So that was a bad time in your life, but you got the girl of your dreams. And
yes, indeed.
She is incredible.
Yes, she is.
You have a great family.
Yes, I do.
In the last 6 years, you've been through how many cars?
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots.
You lucked into a kick-ass early 70s Camaro.
Yeah, the 72.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a cherry it was, man.
Yep.
Yeah. And you made a little bit of dough off it. You got to build a little bit, have some fun.
I did. That was my daily driver.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
all of your daily drivers.
Well, yeah.
You don't park one in the garage.
No. Except, I had the Camaro. There was the overlap with the Camaro and the 74.
But
I still took them out and drove it.
Yes,
obviously.
Right.
You got to drive a carbureted car. It's not going to start.
You were just driving, you had a
53 Chevy.
53
150
Chevy.
Business Coupe.
It was a cool car. It had a wrap on it.
Yep.
But it was a cool car. You had a nice little motor in it. GM crate motor.
Stroker 383,
No, you had the GM crate motor wasn't a stroker.
That one was a stroker.
Was that right?
The second one that was in that was
the second one.
Yeah, that was a stroker.
That's the one we put in and had to redo the air, the compressor got right on it.
Yep, that was a stroker.
But the one you took out was a GM crate motor. It's a small block 350, right?
Right.
And then you traded that car for a car that didn't run. Is that right? Did you sell that one outright? I thought you traded the one you found. Maybe you sold it, but then you found the one in Texas?
Yeah, the Challenger. I got that.
The
Challenger.
74.
Right, the 74 Challenger.
But it came with no motor.
Right.
He just happened to know a guy that had a 440 in the garage, because that happens every fucking day. So you dropped that in there and a couple shoehorns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
it's big and
running.
Oh man. Yeah. That was an animal.
It was an animal, but you still could hear. I love that race car guys come over their radios and say, I feel this, I hear that, I see something. And it's a minute something. But you are in tune with your car so much that you really feel a difference.
Yeah.
You'd call me, Kenny, I got a little tick. I don't know, front, back, side, rear, something. Let's get to figure this out and stuff. And you did a lot of chasing. I'll give you some ideas. You could pull out the stethoscope with the rod and try to listen and do. But you'd be in there trying to go to sleep at night. You just sit there, twiddle your thumbs, thinking about what's wrong with this car, where's it at, what's going on, and what to do next. You modified it. You made changes. You'd bring it to every show. I love that car. I love that car.
Yeah, I did too. I still do.
Then what prompted you to just do what you did? Rhett, I love you.
Oh, I love you too, brother.
But
it was going to end up. I found some cancer.
Oh, yeah.
I got into the car one day and I saw brown stuff on the passenger floorboard.
And an animal hadn't broken in.
No.
Okay.
No. So what is this? I look up. Man, that is thin rust. Okay, maybe it's coming from under the dash. Crawl up under there. Look. No. Just for grins. Maybe kick panel area. Pull the kit. Nothing. So I took off the header. Panel up there at the
where there's A-pillar covers,
right?
And then
and rust started falling. I'm like, well, there you go.
From the
that's
top.
it. Yeah, and that's just like I said, that was a daily driver.
No signs outside, no signs whatever.
Once I saw that, I started looking real deep.
Yeah,
and in a couple spots,
you could see
what I never noticed before because I didn't have to.
Yeah,
I saw a little bit of bubbling.
Yeah,
so I'm like, that's a daily driver. I take this off the road, it's going to be thousands and thousands. It's going to take weeks, and what's going to be next? I'm not worried about the motor or the drivetrain, but the body.
Right.
If you do that, you're going to do the whole body. And
right.
And just no.
Yeah, we've got Jake from APS Automotive Paint Supplies in Vero, and we've got his truck out there. It's a K20, the K10 85 or 6 model, and he already knows he's going to be buying every panel that there is.
Right.
But this is a truck that is bought cheap and ugly, and it's one that we get to restore and make.
Right. And like I say, if this Challenger was if it had been
a project that you knew about or something coming into, it would have.
If it was worth $80,000, but not going to be worth to sink all that into in time and be without a car to drive
Okay, so let's cut to what Kenny's having a really hard time with.
Yeah,
which is what Rhett.
Well, it's not that I'm not a modern guy, man, but when we go out to friendlies in Melbourne to the Thursday night car show, there are 6 rows of cars, okay? 3 of them, and it's on the beach, and I get that, but 3 of the 6 rows are filled up with brand new Corvettes. It just...
Because people haven't wrecked them yet.
It just gets to me. I'm not classic. I don't need to be classic. I love it. Look, I said to him off the air, I love getting in your super comfortable, super fast, reliable, brand new, boxed up horsepower car, and then take the hell off. I love it. Except in the new, the C7 Corvettes, I get in there and I paddle shift, and you don't even feel it shift until you're in like fourth gear.
Right.
How many speeds does your car have?
5.
5. Good. Because when you're waiting for those next 4, then you start feeling, you go, okay, wow. Yeah, but by the time you get out of fourth gear, I'm doing 100 and something. So what'd you buy?
Oh, a 2010 Mopar 10 Challenger.
You did, yeah. Yes. It is beautiful. It is black. It's got the blue stripe, which they then carry over into the interior. The blue indicates what your package is going to be.
Right. It only came in that brilliant black pearl. That was the only body color, but you can choose 3 stripes, which would be the B5 blue, the silver, or the red. And whatever, like you said, whatever stripe color you chose, that's how your center caps, that's how these seats, cat skin redid the seats, the stitch it in whatever side stripe color that you chose.
And all the wheels were the same. This is a limited production car.
Yes.
It comes with certificate of authenticity. I mean, It comes with a
little lock box. It's got the replacement center caps, the original center caps. It's got the wheel locks in there if you want to do wheel locks. It's got the metallic build. It's actually metal plate.
Like a build plate.
Right. What's stock, what these RTs, because it is an RT, what they come with stock, and then what this package adds to it. And it's got the certificate, which is signed by the designer of the vehicle.
Wow.
It's got the booklet of it going down the assembly line and all that. So,
wow.
Yeah. And a T-shirt. You even get the T-shirt.
What size?
Large.
Yeah.
I know.
We're not wearing that.
No, we're not.
Maybe on a good day.
We are not. No, we are not.
Spread the thing and cut the sleeves off, pull the neck down a little bit.
Just rip this out.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how do you like it so far?
Actually, I do.
Tell me, like.
You want to know why?
I guess, yeah.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to worry about anything. I feel like I can hop in this and go across country and not have to worry about anything. And I still love the old cars. I always will. Always have. I always will. Like, I got the car the next day. Me and my wife went to St. Augustine in that car.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
For our anniversary.
Yeah.
Just spontaneous. Took the car. I didn't feel like I had to worry about doing that. I didn't feel like I had to shake it down and go out and beat on it like I do on all my other cars to make sure. So if something's going to break, I want it to break on me here local.
Right.
But it's got the airbags, so if something, God forbid, something does happen, if my wife's in there, I'm in there, my boy's in there with me, got a little bit more, a little safer.
Yeah. So in Lucy, I did 3 years ago. I took the original V6 out, or the original inline 6, and put a 350 turbo with a small block. And I hopped in. I got done at 10:30. I went and picked Tiana up and the kids, and I took off and we went to Chattanooga. But I threw a belt every 800 miles off the alternator because I didn't do a lot of due diligence and a lot of stuff, and we did throw it together and go. But I'm a really good mechanic, I believe, and I believe in what I could do and myself. And we took off and went. The big difference that I said to you was you can go out and do a donut. You pull around a corner, you do everything. You don't hear a rattle, a click, a bang, a snap, a pop, a bushing move.
Right.
A tire hit the sidewall. You don't hear anything. They're just brick shit houses. I mean, they are just.
And you're right. I mean, there's a reliable power there, but
they're stiff.
Why do we like our old cars? Why I still like old cars, and I do.
No, absolutely.
Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Because of the clicks, the bangs, the cars talk to you. Like you were saying, they talk to you. You understand. You hear them.
Yeah.
And with an old car, you know what it is. Now, if something, God forbid, happened to this, it's going to be electrical more than anything else.
Yeah.
And you can't work on that yourself. The average person can't do it.
No,
diagnostics, can't do equipment. Not every guy that lives down in suburbia has that.
No, even if they have it, that it's understanding. Let me tell you rule number 1 about drivability. Understanding criteria in which a code is set. If you don't know why that computer sensor picked up on what it picked up on to relieve itself of some knowledge, you're going in the wrong direction.
Misfire cylinder number 3. Why? Is it a coil? Is it a plug? Is it something in the wire? Is it an injector? It could be any number of things.
Is it a ring that's cracked? A gouge in a cylinder that's letting compression
Is it a computer?
out? Is it a compressor? A camshaft wiped out on a lobe. I mean, mechanically, I would go right into engine stuff as where you'd go into basic stuff. Because you're not a mechanic, you are a service writer. You are in the car industry.
Right.
You work for new car dealerships, and. Nothing wrong with that, man. It's a good living. Yeah. And you're providing a service to a lot of people that need help.
My roof doesn't leak and the food's in the fridge.
Today, I go out and I buy a car. I'm glad you're not a salesman because we get along.
No, I sleep good at night.
$40,000 for a car that used to be 20.
Yeah.
And then under warranty, it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go and tell this person, I can't give you a rental car. That part is on back order.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
You know, we're 3 days out because we're low on employees. I mean, it can.
That's a daily thing.
And it is. And that's hard for me. Classic car guys, don't worry about that because they ain't taking nothing to a dealership. There ain't nothing under warranty because it's an old car to begin with.
Right. You're right.
So pros and cons with all of it.
Yeah.
I love when people bring me in a car that's something I don't own or have, and I get to go drive it and I get to do something that's, different for a second or two. But that's not, they don't bring them to me to go joyride, but I've got to do quality control tests. I mean, it's Dolphin Auto. We quality control our stuff. So I get to go ride that stuff every once in a while. I have not been in your car. I have not asked you to drive it. I do want to be a passenger, and I do watch you leave here. We just got done putting, you go back to a couple of those photos, Bryce. We put on that, well, what did we do the first day? Oh, the first day, right? The first time I saw it. Can you put it on the rack?
That's right.
And cut the resonator boxes off and build me some custom pipes that come out. And now instead of having that resonator box and it goes pop, pop, and it's kind of a.
Those resonators are bigger than most mufflers. They're huge.
What do they do? They're like fake boobs, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it looked from far away, but you don't understand what anyway. So I could get sidetracked all the time. So then we brought it in and we did these. What?
The splitter, the front splitter.
Splitter.
Yep.
This is a NASCAR term, mostly, I guess. It's a car racing term, race car term. But
you can call it aero.
You can call
Aero, AERO.
But this is a large carbon fiber piece, we'll call it, that goes across the bottom of your car that creates a little bit more downforce on it. You have an image of that? One of those 3 pictures that we...
Well, I can run the video again.
Oh, you can?
I don't have individual images.
Okay, right.
So it'll show up in a
that's not Bryce's. I mean, that's Rhett's car.
I am
but
Bryce.
that's not Rhett's car. It's just a car like his and all his. But right after this, I think it goes into the 3 pictures of the car that he owns that we did the front splitter on right there.
There
we did your little custom adjustment rods. And you did not like the kit that it came with for the installation. It came with no instructions, which is fine. Right. But we were going there and make sure everything fit right and did. And you got to looking at it and said, my God, the equipment they gave to put that together with is janky. So you went to Home Depot?
Yes, twice.
In my car. He got to drive my car.
Now that's a hot rod. That is a hot rod.
And you got the right stuff and you came in today and said, hey, it works.
Yes, it does. It's not loose, nothing. It's
up over 100, it's doing good.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're going to get some lowering springs. This thing it sits a little high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sits high.
Yeah.
There's a lot of real estate between the top.
A lot.
Yeah. A lot.
So there's a package already. They already have a package for this, and it drops at what?
2 in the front, 2.1 in the back.
Okay. Well, the back's higher, so it does bring it down a little bit to where it adds to the levelness of it.
Yep.
Right. Well, and there's things that can be done to some of those spring caps that make it just a little bit softer too.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's Rhett and his new car. He's going to hang out during the rest of this show. We're going to get into, I think, 17 minutes in, Bryce. We'll kick out a little teaser real quick. We're going to come back. Mecum Auto Auctions is coming up in January. It is their Super Bowl. This is how they kick off the year, and they do it right in our backyard, Kissimmee, Florida. And they've got 4,000 cars, trucks, motorcycles. They got memorabilia. They got people. It's an incredible circus that they bring to town. We've picked out, Bryce has picked out 3 cars. We haven't even looked at them yet. We're going to find out what they are. We're going to see, maybe we know what the hell we're talking about and do a little bidding on those. So stay tuned. Come right back. We'll be here. Hope you will be too.
Nothing you can do. I'm coming to get you.
has put out, so I get to listen to it whenever I want to.
But if you want to go out there and find out who this guy is, you can go on the internet, look at some old stuff. I mean, he's toured with Aldo Nova. He's done it with everybody along the way. Tesla, it just goes on. He's done a world tour back in, I guess it was mid-'80s, I think, early 80s. Greg Billings, you can look up Stranger Band. Greg Billings Band is what he's doing now. He's got a new band called the Stay Up Lates. He's got a new record out with a different group of guys. Greg is always doing something somewhere. He does something for great people, a lot of charity stuff in St. Petersburg. And I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and say that sometime right around Christmas, we're going to go ahead and get Greg on here, and he has his own podcast he can talk about, but that is the music that we get to provide to you all, and I want to let you all know that there are many ways for you to go out and get everything of Greg's that you can possibly want to. So I appreciate him so much for letting us have the use of that music. It really does light me up every day. It's not an act. It's no bullshit. Bryce, I get giddy. I mean, I just love that shit. So, while we're on thanking people real quickly, American Car Classics, this show couldn't go on if it didn't have people supporting it, companies. I do own Dolphin Auto, and so that makes it easy to contribute to the show through that. But I've got some great people. Affordable Water. This is Joe Zuge, who owns Affordable Water. They've been in business for 35 years in Sebastian, Florida. Some of the best damn drinking water you've ever had. It's no lie. See, I was parched and now I'm not. It's that damn quick. That's real stuff. Jasper Engines and Transmissions. They are great friends of ours, not just Dolphin Auto, but the American Car Classics radio program. That is where Jake Fairchild is the Florida area rep. Haven't seen him for a while. Reached out to him earlier. He called me back. I play phone tag for a while, but he is the best of the best. And Jake handles everything that we need from Jasper. Jasper's going through their 80th anniversary this year, so soon to be 81 years. 1-800-827-7455. Call them if you've got a differential, a transmission, an engine that you need. They do a lot more than you might think. Diesels, injector kits. I get Jake back on here and we'll talk a lot about that. And O'Reilly Auto Parts. Man, I can't say enough about this. I'm going to put my glasses on. I don't need to, maybe. Don Vassallo, he is our area sales rep. He's a great guy and a good friend. And he came by, he comes by every other Wednesday. He came by on Wednesday and he brought Ren Wilbanks, who is on his card. It says he's he's the regional field sales manager. So he's Don's boss, but he was very nice. It was very good. They had watched a little bit of one of our shows earlier and came in all revved up, and we got to talk a little bit. And I appreciate how much support and love I get out of O'Reilly Auto Parts. They are nationwide. Hell, they're worldwide. But they are my number one go-to store. I've used a lot of other ones, and I like their people. I like the ability to communicate with them like I do. It is so key to have the knowledge to be able to make sure that we are going to get the right part the first time. I'm out in the boonies a little bit. They say I'm rural, but I'm not. But it's just a little bit of a stretch to get to me, but I make it worth it. I buy their stuff. When I have to go dealer, I do. But that's because we've exhausted all of our efforts here at O'Reilly Auto Parts. So our O'Reilly Auto Parts store is here in Sebastian. It is 220 Sebastian Boulevard, and their phone number is 772-228-3019. Lisa Waldeck, she is the manager out there, and she's been there for a little while. She took over for our friend Michelle Gay, who was out there for several years. And she came up with this idea the other day. She wanted to pull off some car shows. I said, Lisa, are you ready? Are you ready? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm ready. I can do this. So, hey, every other week now, O'Reilly's in Sebastian is doing Cars and Coffee, and this is going to be from 8 to 11 this Saturday, the 18th. The first one was November 4th. She said, I'll be happy with 5 cars. I said, I think we'll get 10. I think she said the final count was 22. So, Lisa's going to be on our show next week. She is fun. She's good. She's not bad to look at, and she's smart about cars. And I said, Bryce, we're going to have to figure out some tech talk for that day. He said, I've already got a question for her. So we're going to pick her brain a little bit and find out what she could tell us more about what O'Reilly Auto Parts does. But those people help support our show, and I'm happy to help support their businesses. So thank you for all of that. We're going to go ahead and get into some Mecum stuff. Mecum Auto Auctions is their 75th anniversary, I think it is. They're going through right now, and you've already got your tickets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes.
I love that. You're not going to take a chance on win a pair from us, because we do give a pair away with a trivia question.
There's no favoritism.
John Kramen calls in, and he, after the show, gives us a trivia question to go ahead and light you guys up with and see who gets what. And then I give those pair of tickets away. I don't care where you are. You just pick them up, but we'll leave their name for you there. So January 2nd through the 14th at the Osceola Heritage Park in Kissimmee, Florida. This is Mecum's Super Bowl of auto auctions. They are the number one auto auction vendor in the world. They're huge.
This is their biggest show they have is Kissimmee.
4,000.
Yeah, man. I mean, just...
How do you even look at it all? How do you even...
They rent scooters. That's all I got to say is they rent scooters.
You need one.
Yeah, no
kidding. It is incredible out there.
It's
they do
Disneyland.
Yeah, they do a lot of TV time, but their live stream is incredible. We are actually going to be taking up color cars that we've built this year for some customers. One of them is a Carmen Ghia. We're going to try and get the 1979 Porsche. What is that, a 928, Bryce, out there? We're going to try and get that done for the auction, see what we can do. If not, then that car will be done, and we're going to take it out to Miami Homestead, and that would be great before it goes to the auction then. So we'd love to see you all there and hear from that stuff. As far as hearing from stuff, we have a hotline. I like to leave the phone number. It's 772-584-1048. And on that, you send in text messages. You can call and leave a message. We'll read your text message. We'll try to get some help to you with car problems. If you just want to show your right off and say that you support us and all that, hey, I'll throw it up on the screen with Bryce, and we'll give you a little shout out. And always like to send the love to people that share the love. So, with that, Rhett is here. I talk too much as it is. Rhett, Bryce, tell us what we got in front of this for Mecum Auto Auctions coming up.
The first is a 1986 Dodge Shelby Omni GLHS.
A what?
Who?
Bryce, you pulled these?
I did.
And why is this one here?
Because it's interesting.
That is a wicked fast little car.
Listen, I've got out in my yard a restoration in progress. It's a 93 maybe. It's a Shelby CSX. And it came to us from California. And it's got a badass transmission, a badass lower end. We put this custom head on it, a bigger turbo, and it's going to be stupid. But what is this? So what is this car about? Read this to me.
Alrighty. GLHS, Carol Shelby said it means goes like hell s'more.
Goes like hell some more. Right.
Some more. The highlights on this one, it looks like it's black. It's unrestored. 1 of 500 produced. They all came with a 2.2 turbocharged intercooled 4-cylinder engine. This one's got the original window sticker and the original retail sales order. And I actually owned one of these.
What? You're a very large man.
No, it was very, very roomy.
Was it?
I got that. I bought it from when I was back home. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I worked at Altman Dodge in Rivers Avenue. Bought it from the owner's son. And he did, he put a bigger turbo on there. He did some head work on it. And that thing was nothing but torque steer. I mean, nothing but torque steer. If you got on it, you could not keep it in a straight line. You were heading for the ditch.
Wow.
Blew the turbo, just started rolling smoke.
Yeah.
Took it back, because I worked there. So the technicians, they did turbo, they tried to rebuild it, still rolling smoke. Put another turbo on there. Damn thing was still rolling smoke. So I got rid of it.
Okay.
I got tired of fog in the neighborhood. I didn't want to, but that was you. I was like, oh my God, that was 25 years ago.
Charleston, South Carolina is where Hootie and the Blowfish are from, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I went out there for a couple of days with my second wife and spent some time and went to a local club, and it was real cool. Yeah, squirrel.
Squirrel.
All right, well then, Bryce, I'm going to ask you first, since you pulled these cars off, man. What do you put a value on this car at?
Oh, you know me, man. I'm not good at predicting numbers, but I would think that this is such a cherry example of this car, which most of the guys just beat the crap out of them after they bought them. So, I mean, I would think I'm going to say 50.
Okay, I'm going to tell you real quick. I already wrote a number down. I don't know if anybody can see this. I wrote down 23,000.
Okay, I was going to say about 35.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so 35.
I was
so you're in the
thinking
middle.
about 35. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's a time capsule. I don't know the miles on it though.
But who's going to buy it? That's all I'm saying. What's the next one?
It's got Carroll Shelby's signature on the dashboard.
I know it does, but these new Mustangs are out. Man, I don't know.
But you know how much that weighs? Nothing.
Yeah, nada.
Nothing. That's a motorcycle. That is a motorcycle.
It's a little rocket ship.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
You get hit by a semi, you're going to feel like you're on a motorcycle.
All right, so next, let's stick with the Shelby theme. We're going to go back in time 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
20 years.
Snap into a Kenny.
Snap into history.
Snap into history, Jim.
All right, I got it up on screen for you.
1966, Shelby 427 Cobra Roadster. One of 260 factory-built coil spring 427 Cobras produced. Specs on this bad boy. Let's see what we got here.
Look how sexy that thing is, man.
Dispatched from England in July 1966. Built to Shelby American and finished in acrylic green. One of only 56 produced in that color.
The front bumper's like the back bumper, but like the shark's mouth is closed in the back, and then he opens it up in the front. I love that.
It looks like this one's gone through comprehensive restoration. Holman Moody built 427 side oiler, installed in 1967. A replacement 427 block was installed at the time of restoration while retaining the Holman Moody components. Gearbox, suspension, and brakes rebuilt at the time of restoration. And that was the original color they refinished it in. All right.
Beautiful paint.
It's got the original conditional sales contract that goes along with it. The AC Cars Limited Heritage Certificate. Holman Moody receipts and engine manual and ownership history is listed in the Shelby Registry.
Snap.
And that green almost looks black in the right light.
Oh, it sure does.
It really does. It almost looks, it's just so dark in the right light.
Well, Rhett, I'm going to ask you to go first on this one.
225,000. And I'm probably lowballing the hell out of it.
I'm going to write a number down before we even get into
I'm not even looking. I can probably tell what you're putting there or close to it. I think I lowballed the ever-loving heck out of that. You're doing a lot of writing.
Bryce, what do you got a number down there for?
Well, there's a lot of Shelby Cobras at this same auction, but they're replicas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they're not.
They don't bring
the
money.
real deal.
Yeah, when it's real, they don't.
They still bring good money, but this is real.
This is the original version. So I like what Rhett is thinking. I'm going to drop down a little bit though. I'd say 175.
Wow.
I bet he's got a 5 in his. Somewhere there's a 5.
I wrote down $899,000.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
These things are $1 million cars, man. I don't think I'm wrong. I think that's just ridiculous.
Well, I do think I kind of lowballed it, but dang, I just don't know about.
Well, he went lower than you. He's still stuck you in the middle like a Rhett sandwich, right? What's the last one, Bryce?
The last one is a 32 Ford Dearborn Roadster. Come on.
And when you pull your pictures up, man, this thing is beautiful. Look at this thing.
Oh, yeah, that's
beautiful, man. Even a windshield has a beautiful stance.
Yeah, it's just clean.
I mean, I was just looking at pictures for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
This thing, I mean, the wheels are right for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it caught my eye when I was going through all the offerings for Kissimmee. I've seen a lot of 32s like this. Of course, every car show has some version of this, but this just looks so elegant.
It looked elegant. It's absolutely the word for it.
So clean.
This is almost a champagne bronze.
It's the right color.
Just a sweet color.
Yeah.
He's got the two big headlights,
the top up.
but he doesn't have the other lights below it. It's not too guided. There's no badging hanging off. He's got 2 side mirrors, both the same stance. Arms come out. I like the arms.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Look at that, the upholstery.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Leather. Yeah.
You know what? I think it looks better with the top up. That thing looks good with the top up. That's a good looking profile.
It is sick with the top. The top gives it the
chopped up
realistic look of the chop.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just a windshield. But when you put the top up to meet the windshield, you see how thin she is.
Oh man.
Billet aluminum wheel. I mean, it's just.
And you better be really good friends with whoever is your passenger, because you're sitting on their lap. Coming from someone my size.
Yeah.
You're right there snuggling up.
What are some of the specs on that?
All right. Paint. Well, let's go with this. It's got a Ramjet 5.7 V8 automatic, all steel body. That paint is champagne pewter.
Okay, and I said it's champagne bronze, so I was pretty close. That's great,
one man's pewter is another man's bronze.
Yeah.
And look, there's a modern stereo system.
Yep. Modern, that's aftermarket, modern gauges.
Yeah, I can't. The gauges, I'm trying to read the name. The
automatic
logos.
looks like a manual. I like that. I like that shifter.
Yeah.
That's a low car shifter, I think. I think that was a low car.
Clean man, shorty headers.
She's got a Ford 9-inch rear end, 389 limited slip, air ride suspension.
Beautiful.
Tubular front control arms, 4-link rear suspension, 4-wheel disc brakes with, of course, the Willwood calipers. Got to have the Willwoods.
Yeah.
Of course, the custom leather upholstery. It's got vintage air hooked up to it and a disappearing convertible top. So the convertible top goes somewhere into the back area.
So the seat pulls out, or there's a miniature panel back there that they've done.
it clean.
You can drop it and look just tight as heck. I love that.
That's
man.
nice.
That's a hell of a build right there.
That's nice.
Well, I guess I need to start with something, huh? I'm going to go ahead and.
Wish we had Jeopardy music. This is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's a clean, really nice car. I still think there's a limitation to the money on it, Bryce, right? I mean, there's just a limitation to the money. What year is that? 32?
Yep.
I'm going. I was going to say I'm going to go 32. I'm going to go $37,000. Where were you, Rhett?
I was low 30s. I was going to do about 31 to 33.
So 32 it is.
Okay, 32 for the 32?
Yeah. Bryce?
I got a tangent here. How much do you think all the work that went into that
Never
car
get
cost?
your money out of it.
He'll never get his money out of it.
But just take a guess as to, like...
If he had it done at a shop like ours, that is over $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, easily.
Yep.
How many thousands of man hours? You know, how about the paint alone?
Depends on how bad the body was.
Yeah.
Even if the body came as a kit and is this a real
No, it says steel body.
steel body?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's you worked it. So there were a couple hundred hours in just getting the body prepped, because you gotta gap everything.
Oh yeah,
You understand that in 1932, it's a steel body.
these are gaps are.
You know what a steel body was in 32? It was metal wrapped around wood.
Wood. The chassis was wood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you had rot. You were peeling the metal off. You're replacing the wood, and then you're welding it back.
Crazy.
Or you're eliminating the wood, making that steel thicker, more rigid, because the wood does do something for that. And then you're going to go ahead and recondition it to put it back together to where everything lines up and fits. 3/8 inch gap all the way around your doors, trunk lid. The hood doesn't matter because it probably still does matter in this, but not as much. So, I mean, hundreds of hours in just the paintwork.
Yep.
Hundreds.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say 50 again on this one and see which one I come closer with, the Omni or the 32.
And you know what they say about seats? There's a butt for every one. So you never know.
Yeah. There's a seat for every butt and a butt for every seat.
Well, if you're going to get top dollar for a car like that, Kissimmee's got to be the place to take it.
And it really is. It really is. It takes two guys to make an auction happen. And with the internet bidding that they do and their dedicated phone staff to this, you do it. And if it doesn't sell, but it got a high bid,
The bid goes on.
What'd you say?
The bid goes on.
Somebody's juicing and they're sitting there and they're just answering and whatever. And they know that Mecum has this program called the Bid Goes On. And this allows you to buy the car after it has left the block. And you can sit there and dicker and work out with the seller with the help of Mecum Auctions and come up on something. A lot of times they'll move their fees a little bit and make the seller a little happier. Seller comes off that reserve and then you get to move up a grand or two and a purchase is done.
I think I've heard them offer like transportation,
Right. I need it shipped out.
Yeah.
Right. We'll pay for shipping because they'll hook there. I got 2 going that way or something squeezed in there. So that is incredible. I want to appreciate I appreciate you, Rhett, for coming out and joining me tonight. And
I appreciate you inviting me.
We're going to try and do a tech talk question real quick and help a guy out with he's just got a random question. This is Wayne Everett, and he was starting to tear down the original motor out of his 1970 Monte Carlo. He sent some pictures that I did not get uploaded to Bryce, but maybe we can at showtime or by the time we go to print. He says he's asking, these are flat top pistons and it's a Chevy small block, and he's asking, what are the chances of me, by looking at the pictures that I have, of saving this engine and just doing a low budget build with some new rings, and do I have to go to new heads, or what do I need to do? He wants to know the cost of something. You just pulled the motor out of your car and tore it down. You're going to spend a couple grand one way or the other. You can go as high as 30 grand building the piss out of it. It depends on what you want to do with it. If you're going to put it back together and it's a 50-year-old motor and you're going to go beat on it and have fun and tear it up like Rhett does in his brand new car, you're going to pull that motor again and do something because you're going to throw something and burn something and do something, and that's how things go. Aluminum heads right off the bat. We're going to say it.
Well, this is a 70 Monte Carlo.
Yes, sir.
My opinion, obviously, I got a soft spot for the first gen Monte Carlos.
That's right.
They're awesome cars. This car, if the body's in good shape and you light the car, this car is worth putting a little bit of money in it.
That's right.
And I'll do you one better.
Without
you can get yourself a crate motor if you want reliable horsepower.
He's asking about trying to go. How is this motor worth rebuilding and doing? So
but you can get a crate motor for less with the warranty than it'll probably be to build that.
Blue Star.
Blue Point. GM Creighton. GM.
Call General. You might be blown away.
$3,800 is average. You can get a small block.
I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. He bought that last one before COVID.
There is.
Okay. And before Biden. And I'm just going to put it out there because, damn it, somebody's got to say it.
What do they go for these days?
I haven't looked.
But I bet it's $6,000. I bet 3,800 turned to $6,000. I'll bet you $500 right here on the air.
My project would be I'll go onto Summit or something and start clicking around.
Wayne, what you can do is find out the true specs of what the bore is supposed to be, and get to a shop and put it in your back of your car, your trunk, and take it to a shop and ask them to bore it and to check the bore and see how big it is on a micrometer. You've got to know that if your fingernail is going to snag the ridge at the top of the cylinder, then you need to go ahead and get that ridge cut out. Now they make a ridge cutter, and then you can hone it. I've done it. It does work. It's not nearly as good as boring it. It's 50 years old. Just because
has been worked before. Has someone been in there before?
Hasn't, right. No, it's got the factory flat top pistons and all this, so he does at least see that maybe it's been done what he wants to do once. And that's why you're going to go in before you spend any money on getting the ridge cut out or anything else, that you're going to find out how wide that is. And what they do is they'll drop it in that cylinder and they'll spin it 180 and pull it back out. They'll spin it 90 and pull it back out and push it back in. They're going to check for coning. The cylinder is going to be stretched to the top, or it's going to be less at the top because somebody never got into this car. If you don't go knock the cobwebs out of the car every while, your cylinder will change shape, and it's not for the better. So there's a lot to learn and know about the bottom end. The crank, what's it look like? Is it going to need to be line bored? Because there's not a ton of people out there that have the equipment that are doing it like they used to. So you've got to think about that. Then you got to go in and you say, okay, I've got this bottom end and everything else, but I wanted to build some horsepower and do. Cast iron heads, we throw them in the garbage. Throw them in the garbage. They're junk. Get aluminum heads. Buy a cam kit with the heads, the intake. They sell it cheap. Summit. Wherever. And you could put that on and you've got 400, 500 horsepower for, $6,000, $5,000 if you're doing work a lot yourself. If you got to pay a guy and he's a specialist, you're going to pay for that, but you're going to hopefully get a good warranty. He's going to give you a little bit. I'll warranty a motor that I build here in the shop. I'll warranty that motor. Scuba Steve will build you a motor that does 800 horsepower, and I'll put a 6-month warranty on it that if it doesn't come back with a pushed rod through it because you read that at 9, then you were stupid. But otherwise, I guarantee the motors right here, Dolphin Auto, because you can build them right good. It's just that It doesn't always happen. So, Wayne, maybe that gives you some insight on what you need to do, and I appreciate being able to have the question to read to you. So, again, Bryce, behind everything that makes everything happen, I love and appreciate him so much. Rhett Riddle, Sebastian's own. Thanks for coming
my
in.
man.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
You wore my little shirt. I appreciate that.
It's the least I could do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love you. So, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Bryce, what's our email address?
American Car Classics Radio at yahoo.com.
American Car Classics Radio, yahoo.com. Drop us a line. I'm Kenny. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.